But it all starts with sitting down and understanding who you are and what's the story you're about to share. Because I believe everyone, and literally everyone has a story worth sharing. I believe so, but you have to put it out of the world. You have to find the right channel. You have to find the right audience. You have to look up how other people are doing it, to learn from it, to learn from their mistakes, from their wins. You have to be collaborative. You have to have the whole mindset. You have to be patient. You have to do a lot. Right. I know that. But it all starts with making the right move. And the right move is get experience. Start doing it.
We are talking to one of the experts. This is Mr. Alex Kahn, who is the most sought-after social media coach in Germany. He has got over 58 million hearts on Periscope, almost 300,000 followers. I have learned so much from this individual. I kind of feel like Alex has been, even though he's completely unaware of it, Alex has sort of been a mentor in the live streaming space. He's one of the very first early adopters. And I'm making him blush and embarrassing him probably right now. Without further ado, welcome.
I love it, man.
Welcome, Mr. Alex Kahn. Alex, I'm so happy to have you. I'm giddy as a little kid.
Well, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So why don't you do this, if you don't mind, Alex, before we get going with the show. So happy to have you, by the way. Why don't you tell our Nez Nation audience just really quickly, I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but tell us a little bit quickly, Alex, about maybe who you are, what you're doing, maybe what you're up to lately. Those of us who have been living under a rock and don't know, tell our Nez Nation audience a little bit about you, please.
Sure. So I started with social media without knowing the term social media back in 2005. That was like 2 years before Facebook came to Germany. And by the way, when Facebook came to Germany, it put me out of business.
Oh, wow.
Just like the downside. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean,
really?
Facebook just took over. You probably are familiar with MySpace.
Yes.
MySpace.com is now a big hit on Instagram. If you don't follow him, he's a great photographer. Like everyone knew Tom back at that time.
Interesting.
The big MySpace Tom. And then I started to consult companies. I thought like, okay, if you can't beat it, join it. And I joined Facebook and I consulted a couple of businesses, small businesses in Germany, mostly in Munich, where I'm based. And then I moved to Berlin. I started Germany's first mobile marketplace for fashion, like the first Tinder for fashion. So instead of people, you were swiping through clothes that you can buy afterwards. And we learned from that. And then I got acquired, luckily, from a big publishing house here in Germany, which made me moving to the United States.
Hello.
You think like, once you made it in Germany, you go to the States, right?
Yeah.
So I founded a company there, or co-founded the company there, Bella Candles, like a candle company. So the candle burns down, there's a little ring inside, the ring appears. Built that company from zero to more than 3 million in revenue over the last year with social media again. And then after a while, I said, like, LA is cool, but I kind of miss my family. I miss my friends. So last year, I decided to move back to Germany. First of all, I'm kind of a little professor, right? Not in a public university, but I teach my students, which are private individuals, small business owners, about social media. So I have my online academy going, couple of hundred people who joined that class. And it's more like a passion project, but I really love them a lot. Yeah. And in the beginning of this year, I told myself, well, why not go back to your roots and start working with companies? And now, I mean, I'm working with a lot of big brands. I'm also working like with smaller brands like Design Rise and Lodenfrei, but also like the big ones like Microsoft and Red Bull. So really big brands, global players. SAP. So the ones you probably are aware of also in the United States as you have them. And yeah, I'm coaching companies. That's my daily business. So I go in, instead of an advertising agency, I go in and teach them how I believe you should market yourself in the year 2017.
I love the way you said that, Alex, and what a beautiful intro, ladies and gentlemen, Nez Nation. If you're watching out there listening, we've got some people coming in. Welcome, welcome. You're an absolutely great teacher. So if you're new to who I am and what I do, thank you. Come on in, guys. I've been a writing communication professor for over 20 years, but I've been fed up with education. I've been fed up with higher ed in the sense that, and I had a great guest on not long ago. We talked about this, who's also a PhD doing research on this. It's not scalable. What we've been teaching our kids, what we've been teaching our students hasn't had that real world applicability, where as soon as you leave, my biggest kind of mantra, if you will, Alex, and I'd love your thoughts on this, as soon as you leave Professor Nez's class, if you can't use the information, literally, as soon as you step foot out of my class, to me, it's useless. Because it's going to go in one ear and out the other. If it's something like, well, I'll put it in my pocket and maybe I'll use it 4 years down the line when I get my piece of paper. Or if it's something that like, well, I'll just prepare for my final and I'll pass this idiot's test. And so being in that genre and watching unbelievable entrepreneurs like you and really kind of maybe an over-abused word, entrepreneurs and digital marketers and all this thing, really just the human-to-human interaction, which is what I think live streaming and live video, the ultimate equalizer, has really presented to us teachers and presented to us people who are trying to share their passion, like you said, and passion projects and trying to help people discover what they can do. I think you're amazing. I mean, when I said mentor, I wasn't kidding. I mean, Alex, I've been paying a lot of attention. Ladies and gentlemen, Nez Nation, his Periscopes, his live streams, I've listened to him on many interviews, podcasts. You had a very recent, actually, interview with Michael Stelzner that I think I listened to about 20 times. It was so valuable. What you were talking about with live video. And I've been recently trying to coach clients. I do coaching and consulting on the side, as well as my university gig, as well as my live show, as well as a million other things, as I'm sure Alex is very well aware of, that, when you enter this life, you feel like you're being pulled in a million directions sometimes, why prioritizing is so important. I've been advocating live video. My main kind of thesis on this, Alex, is that it humanizes your brand, humanizes your organization, your institution, even as an individual. If you're just an individual, right? Being an author as well, I can't imagine if Shakespeare had the ability to go live. I think he would have loved it. I think Hemingway would have loved it. I think Goethe would have loved it, right? I mean, these amazing authors, they would have loved it. And I think it's not necessarily about, just hopping on the new shiny thing kind of mindset, but more of, what would you say, Alex? What would you say to people who are like, what is all this lie? Because I still have a hard time sometimes convincing them. They say, Professor Nez, you have a lot of energy. You're very passionate, but that stuff's for kids. Do you get a lot of that, by the way? Do you get people still saying, I don't know about this social media thing? I mean, you've been in the game very long. What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
Well, I sat down with a client today, actually, and they told me like it's a big brand, a big shoe brand. And I said, well, the C-level, like 1 year ago, they were still doubting if internet is a thing, right? So talking about social media, they're talking about social media, it's a totally different thing. And talking about live video is even one more step ahead. But when we talk about live video, we have to think about a couple of facts. First of all, it's nothing new. I mean, live communication itself is what we do right now is live communication. It's been there for thousands of years, right? It's the way how we communicate. Now, the only difference is we can do it from the palm of our hand, right? Just with a smartphone, and we can reach out to the world. There are no barriers anymore. Just think about this, like 10, 20 years ago, you had to know someone who owns a TV station, a radio station. It was not possible. Right now, if you have great content and you're consistent and people believe that you care, you just need this.
That's it.
To reach out to the world, and that gives us a lot of possibility, a lot of opportunities. And we are the early. I mean, we're between the innovator and early majority space when it comes down to live video. And second, if you think about the big companies like Twitter and Facebook, they all invested in live video. I mean, Twitter spent $100 million 2 years ago by acquiring Periscope and stepping up the game in live video. Facebook spent like, I believe like 50 million for celebrities. So they start using live video too, right?
Yep.
So I always love to say, if you are still doubting live video as a tool, as a channel, you should ask yourself if you really think that you're more clever than Twitter or Facebook. Because
very good point.
Right? From a humble perspective.
Right. These aren't stupid people. I mean, these are not stupid people. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack, these are not, they're not just your run of the mill average people. I mean, they do their research. They know what they're doing, I think.
It's true. And it's based on billions of data points.
Right.
And you should make the math. And if you take a look at the stats, I mean, Facebook, I mean, let's step back a moment. I mean, social video generates 12 times more shares than image and text combined.
Wow.
That's already a number. That's social video. But live video is watched compared to normal video 3 times longer than normal video. It's crazy. I mean, people watch it 3 times longer than normal video because it's so much more attractive to be live in a moment with people, to ask your questions, to get it answered. That's just, the way it rolls right now. And it's authentic, it's free, it's honest, it's just a real thing. And that's what people want in my eyes.
No, absolutely. And Erica asks a really, really great question. And by the way, Sean says, Alex is such an inspiration in class act. Erica, you have a fantastic question. I want to get to Alex, but before you do, a lot of people don't know this. And actually, Alex completely stunned me before we went live. Alex does amazing stuff in live video, and he's predominantly, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but you're predominantly on Twitter Live, Periscope, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I want to ask you about that too later, but Alex actually floored me before we went live. I never in a million years would have thought he remembered this, and this was a long time ago. I mean, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. Alex had, hey, who wants to join me? It's Periscope. And believe me, there is not another individual, maybe a few in the game who go live, who have the craft, the broadcast, the purpose, the intention, more thoroughly, methodically planned and strategically, executed than Mr. Alex Khan. And I'm not just saying that because he's on the show. You ask anybody I talk to, I say, you got to go to Alex. You got to go to Alex. If you want to know anything about live video, talk to Alex. He had a special broadcast where he said, anybody want to come join me? You have a chance. And I believe, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was one of those how to gain more, I think it was one of those shows, how to gain more Periscope followers, but you wanted people to join your cast through Skype. And I was lucky enough. I never thought I'd get through. I mean, this guy has thousands of people watching him, right? I got through, and Sean, you're right. Inspiration in class act. He not only gave me the floor, he not only talked to me, he not only put me on his Periscope, but what I noticed about Alex, and Alex can talk about this too, he listened. He listened. He actually, what Alex is saying is so 100x true. None of this stuff is new. I tell my clients all the time, Alex, this is communications 101. Listening, caring, engaging, exchanging ideas, humbling yourself. It's just the medium has changed. The medium has changed. But communications hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. You have to know who you are as an author. You have to know what your purpose is and who is your audience. That goes back to Aristotle 2,000 years ago. That's it. But the medium has changed. So Erica has a great question. So Alex had me on his Periscope, and he was so sweet, but he listened. And there was a lot of people. He let a lot of people on. And I'm just going to be honest with you, Alex. I thought most of them were kind of, whoa, I don't know if I would have had this person on my show. Not judging, but I mean, some of it just seemed like he was patient. He listened. He allowed them as much time. But not only that, he wasn't just nodding his head, which I tell my students all the time, like active listening. He actually listened to the points and then had a counterpoint and actually, you know, responded with like intelligence and with honesty. It was amazing. So to me, that you produced a lifelong fan, Alex, by you doing that. And what was he doing, ladies and gentlemen? What was he doing, Nez Nation? He was just being honest, authentic, and listening. That's it. That's all he was doing. Hey, April,
That's
good to
all
see
we
you.
want. You know,
that's all
just
you want.
Think about this. I mean, if a friend of yours comes to you and asks you, so tell me, Alex, what can I do to be a better friend, right? That you like me more, that you show me some more love. You would probably say, well, just be yourself, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do for me. Just be yourself.
Exactly.
That's all. If I like you, if I trust you, if I know you, that's all. You don't need to be the new shiny thing and be all over the place and reinvent yourself every day. And you just need to be yourself. I mean, there's that saying, you know, that everyone else is taken, so you have to be yourself. But it's so true, especially in social media. I believe people get attracted if they believe in you. You know, that's the strong thing, because if you share something in common, it can be controversial. Make your point.
Yeah.
Right? People will agree or disagree with you, but at least you're yourself. You know, it's not possible. You will never be the number one Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian will be the number one Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Always. No matter what you do, right?
Absolutely.
You can only be the best version of yourself.
Now, if I get a wig, Alex, and some pretty good makeup, I think I would come close. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let me...
maybe the second best, you know, that's something.
So Erica has a great question. I want to get to this. And thank you, Sean. Sean says, both of you inspired me to move into this space. You've taught me so much in the last 8 months. I'm grateful. Sean, love you, man. That's a beautiful statement. So Erica says, Alex, check this out. I'm worried. This is her question. I'm worried that as it grows, everybody under the sun will have their own show. And we really have a hard time sorting through all the crap and nonsense shows that have no value. I just imagine Facebook feeds nothing but a bunch of live shows. What are your thoughts on that? I have a thought on this, but what's your thought, Alex?
Well, first of all, I mean, it comes down to if everyone is talking, who's listening, right? So in my eyes, Facebook is focusing on engagement, on relevancy, like 100%. I mean, that's the one thing they focus on the most. So they want to be relevant. They want to be like the best news, entertainment, motivation, inspiration source for you. So they should figure it out. You shouldn't worry too much. What you should think of is, don't think about what everyone else is doing. Ask yourself, how can you be a part in the equation? What can you add? How can you add the most value to your audience? And when people like it, if they comment with it, if they share it, that's your way where you understand, well, that was a good thing, right? That was a good story. That was a good broadcast. You start to feel it. But it all starts with sitting down and understanding who you are and what's the story you're about to share. Because I believe everyone, and literally everyone has a story worth sharing. I believe so, but you have to put it out of the world. You have to find the right channel. You have to find the right audience. You have to look up how other people are doing it, to learn from it, to learn from their mistakes, from their wins. You have to be collaborative. You have to have the whole mindset. You have to be patient. You have to do a lot. I know that. But it all starts with making the right move. And the right move is get experience, you know, start doing it. And don't worry too much if everyone is talking, because you won't see it. Right now, in average, I believe we have like 150 people, friends on Facebook. Just think how many people you see in your feed. Maybe 10 or 20 or 30. That's it. So most of the people you already don't see because Facebook turns them down. They take care of the relevancy. You don't have to worry about it.
I love what you said, Alex, and relevancy and your story and knowing who you are, self-discovery, self-investigation. Here's my comment on this, and I think it's just very practical and very sort of, commonsensical is, Erica says, good point. Absolutely. Isn't Alex amazing, guys? Are you guys having fun? Put some emojis in there. I want some emojis. I call it, my students laugh at me. What's an emoji? Give me some emojis. Are you having a good time? Give me some smiley faces. Give me some likes, some hearts. Come on, guys. Thank you. Here's my take, and Alex, I'd love your thoughts. There's a lot of crap TV shows. There's a lot of crappy doctors. There's a lot of crappy airlines. There's a lot of crappy businesses. Who cares, right? Is that going to stop you? Let's say, and here's another question I think a lot of people say, Alex, and a lot of people, at least I'm sure your clients ask you this because I get this all the time, is, well, there's somebody already doing what I'm doing. There's somebody, thank you for the emojis. Fantastic. Sean, Erica, thank you. There's already so many people doing what I'm doing. What can I offer? I mean, there's already an Alex Kahn. There's already a Professor Nez doing a talk show, doing broadcasts that have a specific type of value to the same type of audience. Why should I even get involved in the mix? They're stifled. They're stopped. They put that invisible barrier up based on the fact of some, mindset that, well, somebody's already doing it. Why should I do it? Think if every dentist thought that way. Think if every athlete thought that way. Think if every business entrepreneur thought that way. I mean, look at what the CEO of Instagram said. The CEO of Instagram was interviewed recently. I'm sure Alex knows this, about, what they're doing to Snapchat and how they're taking all the technology and the stories concept. And he said, look, we give kudos to Snapchat. But that's the technology. They didn't invent the technology. We give kudos to them, but this is how it works. We're trying to provide value for our customers. We're not afraid to say, look,
it's funny.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Alex.
it's funny. Do you know what even Spiegel said?
No.
As an answer to that?
Oh, as a reaction. Yeah. What did he say?
He said, well, the reaction on this one was, well, you cannot put like a search bar on Yahoo and say you're Google.
Exactly. So doesn't this speak to the point?
That was his reaction to it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's no matter how many.
Right.
Yeah. No matter how many people are doing it, that shouldn't stop you. And also, I mean, the cream, not to bring up a tired phrase, but the cream does always rise to the top. There is probably 1 million Alexes out there, but there's only one Alex Kahn, and people are watching Alex Kahn. He has a specific way of doing it. I could try to do exactly what Alex is doing. It won't even come near Alex Kahn because Alex is Alex. It never does. Yeah.
Copying anybody. Don't be, I like to say, like, you can be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat. That's one saying, right?
Yes.
But the second one would be like, add your edge to it. Don't be a one-on-one carbon copy of who you try to impersonate. Don't impersonate someone. You can copy something. You can even steal something. I mean, who was it? Like the one of the artists. I mean, Picasso said, like, good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yes.
You can do so, but down the road, people will always come back for community. Mm-hmm. So think about how can you build your community? I mean, you live with NEZNATION, right?
Yes.
That's your community.
Yes.
That's why people come back. You can attract people by content, but they will stay with you, and they will see you and see you as a leader if you build a community. So it should be all about community building, right. And it's all about the people. It doesn't matter. I mean, I consult clients in various fields. Some fields I have no clue. Like, I have a couple of tennis clients, athletes, and also like a tennis court, and I have no clue about tennis. Honestly, the most I know is that the ball is yellow. That's all I know. Really, that's all I know.
You're breaking my heart, Alex. That's my favorite sport. You're breaking my heart.
Yeah, I really have no clue about it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's okay.
Honest.
Yeah,
I've also like one of the top golf players as a client, and I have no clue about golf, but I know about human beings. I know about how people behave, and I know that we're all in the human being business. We all, we all want the same things.
Yep.
Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be liked. Everyone wants to communicate. Everyone likes to have value. I mean, nobody, if you come with a good intention and you add value to someone, for what reason he shouldn't like you? I mean, it doesn't work like this, right? If I come to you and add value to you, why in the world you should not like me?
Right.
Even if it's free, you know?
Yep.
It starts, you build up credibility, you build up a reputation by being honest, adding value, and going all in your niche and talking to the industry leaders, trying to build a rapport with them too, go to their streams. You know, the great thing about live video, many people don't think about it, but it's that the people you want to reach out to are really the people. What I mean by saying that is if you, for example, go on a Twitter profile and you tweet them a message, or you go on a Facebook profile, an Instagram profile, and you tweet them or you send them a DM, you never know if that's really the person you want to reach out to. Could be the assistant, could be an employee. But if you go live, right, if you enter a live video stream of someone, it's him, right?
Right.
It's not Robert, it's really the person.
Yep.
So, and that's so strong. If you can really, well, add value to someone and build a reputation, build a relationship with industry leaders by entering their streams, retweeting, add value to them. Many people go that, I mean, what Gary Vaynerchuk always says, like, you know, that jab, 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 right hook.
Yep. Yep.
You need to impress them, you know, you have to do something for them. You have to share. If they want to build a reputation with you, they should enter your streams. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. I entered Alex's streams.
That's now I'm giving that interview, right? Because of that stream, because I liked you, we saw us again, and you reached out to me, and we had already a relationship. I get tons of questions. I get tons of invites for interviews. Most of them I turn down because I don't know that person, right? Right. But that's a good thing. We know us for a couple of months already. You asked me, I said yes. It's that simple. That's how it works. And by the way, you know, I mean, Alex is like, you know, I mean, just a dinosaur in this industry, like huge. You know, I'm so humbled that he accepted. And here's the beautiful thing. And maybe this, and Veronica, I want to get to your question. Veronica is a student of mine, has a great question, a younger person, definitely. And thank you, Erica, for your comments. You know, I just reached out. I engage with his streams. I've never met Alex in person, which is going to change, which is definitely going to change. For sure.
But here we are. Isn't this the power of social? I mean, I feel like I already feel like just by Alex's energy, his vibe, his humility, he's like a brother to me already. I mean, literally. I mean, I feel that kind of connection to the power of social. This is not just for shits and giggles anymore. This is not just for kids. This is not just for a selfie. Hey, look at me. I'm getting a mocha at Starbucks. You can do this for business. You can do this to interact with people, to have purpose, to celebrate a cause, something. Even if you wanted to go political, you could do that. I mean, anything you want, whatever your purpose is, this is the power of it. And Alex, humble enough, unbelievably. And by the way, Alex, I want to just say, I'm really just embarrassing him. I apologize, Alex. But, you know, I talk to a lot of different people in the space. You will not find an individual who gets more praise, an individual who gets the same adjectives over and over again. Unbelievable. Roberto Blake, you know who Roberto Blake is, right, Alex? So yes. Roberto Blake heard that you were going to be on my show, and he sent me a message. That is so awesome, dude. Alex is one of the nicest, sweetest guys in the industry. And literally that's all I've been getting this past week. Since I've been announcing that you're going to be on my show, I've been getting all these people, you know, saying, oh,
he's a great guy, by the way. I met him at the social media marketing world.
He's fantastic. He's going to be on the show too. He is fantastic. And he provides, I mean, some serious value.
Yeah,
so Alex, I love what you're saying here. I love the way that you're presenting yourself. This is the whole reason I'm so grateful that you're on the show. Let me get to Veronica. Thank you, April. Thank you, Erica. Thank you so much. Keep those likes coming. Keep those shares coming. As Alex says, sharing is caring. So Veronica's a student of mine. She says, hello, I'm currently getting more involved in social media marketing. What would you say is the first step to creating online presence? Great question. What would you say, Alex, to creating online presence? I like that word, presence.
Yeah, to get awareness. I mean, to drive attention to your profile, I believe you should understand which industry. I mean, there will be a couple of questions if we would do like consulting and so on. I would ask a couple of questions which industry in, but let's keep it broad, right? The first thing is take a look what the leaders in your industry are doing. Right. It could be like if you're in the fashion industry, for example, Go on Instagram, enter the hashtag fashion, take a look at the top posts, take a look at the accounts, and try to reverse engineer what they did. How did they start? What was their first pictures? When did they pop? There are tons of tools you can enter and see what they are doing. And then try to think about, how does this relate to your story? So thinking about content, if you think about spending ads, spending money, which is kind of gateway drug to growth, I would go like 80% spend on content, 20% spend on ads. So a huge proportion is really about content creation. So you could do, for example, you could go on Twitter, enter a hashtag whatever, right? Narrow it down. There's something it's called Twitter Advanced Search. You can go there. For example, if you are a burger place, you could just enter burger, hashtag burger, and then narrow it down to your city, and you see people who are talking about that topic. And just with one tap, you can add a conversation and add a context to that story. That's what you could do on Twitter. On Instagram, for example, as I said, it's all about hashtags. Go and identify the right hashtags, put in some nice image, maybe with some text, maybe a description about it, and enter the right hashtags. Go be like fashion, fashion store, fashion show, male model, whatever, female model, whatever it fits to that story, right? To drive awareness. Take a look at the hashtag, for example, on Twitter or on Instagram, and add some context, add some value, reach out to people, enter their live video streams, add value there. So at the beginning, it would be to give you 3 steps. You could directly start tonight doing it. First step would be think about what are the right topics in your industry. What's the content about, right? Second is enter those on search engines like Twitter. For me, it's a search engine, or in the search bar on Instagram. Take a look what others are doing, which are in the same field like you. And number 3, think about how you relate to that story and what could you add which is similar. And then maybe start conversations with other people below the comments who gave a comment. For example, someone is adding a shoe and someone else says, hey, I love that shoe. You might reply back to that person, not to the person who published the shoe, to that other person who entered the comment and said like, hey, I think the same way. What do you do, right? You could just start a conversation with other people to drive awareness to your profile. So that's what I would do.
Wow. Wow. Listen to that. I hope you got that. Veronica, what a fantastic tips and advice. And actually using Twitter, April, by the way, thank you so much, April. You are awesome. Thank you for all the comments and the engagement. I don't think a lot of people really think or view Instagram and Twitter as a search engine, which is so interesting because this is something that a lot of people, a lot of thought leaders have been saying that I've been paying attention to recently. And I love to hear Alex say it too. Yes, Veronica says, thank you so much. Isn't Alex amazing? I love this guy. He's fantastic. Great advice. And by the way, really quickly before I comment on this, we are going to be sharing all of Alex's information. I'm going to put him in the comments and the description so that you can find out where to find Alex, where to see him on Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, all of the locations that you can find him. AIM, thank you. Hello, Alex, Professor, and everybody else. Good to see you, AIM. All right, fantastic. I don't think a lot of people, honored to have you. I don't think a lot of people really think about, those big platforms as being search engines. And even though YouTube and Google are the top 2 search engines on the planet, Instagram, what I've been finding out lately, and maybe we can talk about this too, Alex, is that Instagram has really been stepping up as far as engagement, as far as targeting that demographic that Snapchat really sort of dominated for a while. Instagram seems to be growing it exponentially. And they're doing a lot of it with video, with their stories. And the hashtag, even Gary, I'm sure Gary's been talking about this a lot, the DM and the direct messaging and using hashtags properly. And basically Instagram got that from Twitter. Twitter was the king of hashtags. I think that's so interesting that you said that about the search engines and using that. Great value, Alex. April says, when I follow someone on social media who I am really drawn to, I always make a point to connect through direct conversation rather than just follow and leave the potential relationship. Interesting point. Very great point. Yes. Very good, April. So I wanted to talk really quickly, Alex, if you don't mind. We're gonna wrap this up shortly. But I noticed that you focus primarily on Periscope, and I think this is interesting, given the fact that Facebook Live has been really garnering and pushing live video. They've been so adamant, buying advertising, buying contracts with big companies for going live, and they've been all in on live video. And there's other platforms out there. What do you say to people? First of all, why only Periscope and Twitter Live? And I don't think it's only, but primarily. And also, a lot of people are wondering, especially the NEZNATION audience, where do I start? How do I start? Where do I start? What's your thoughts on that, Alex, and your kind of thesis on why Periscope is your main sort of platform, main real estate?
Yeah, it's a great question. First of all, I mean, I started live video with Periscope, and my oldest audience, when it comes down to live video, it's on Periscope. Most of my followers are still on Periscope. And I just love the community so much. And as I said, it's all about the people. I mean, for me, it's more or less an emotional factor which plays into this. It's not a financial one. It's not a business one. It will make much more sense for me business-wise to be on Facebook. 100% of my clients are asking me about Facebook and Instagram. Not a single one is focusing on Periscope or Twitter. It's ridiculous, right?
I got to be honest with you, Alex. I used to do a lot more Periscopes, but and no offense to I still love Twitter. I still love Twitter Live, and I love how they're integrating. But I got to be honest. I've been getting complaints from my Periscope audience. Where are you? We don't see you. We only see you on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. I've been focusing on those two platforms primarily recently. It's the same thing for me. I feel bad, but I got to focus on where the platforms and where my audience is. It's interesting that you say that all your clients are even kind of mentioning that.
100%. I make all my money with when it comes down to live video on Facebook. So everyone is just focusing on Facebook.
Right.
It's a little bit like my first love. Right?
You're loyal. You're loyal.
Yeah, I'm kind of loyal to my first love, and that was Periscope, and that's why I'm using Periscope at first place. Although it makes no sense from a logical standpoint, I should shift to Facebook, and I know I should go all in on Facebook. And if clients ask me where to put their efforts on, I say put it on Facebook. If someone would ask me financially, you could buy all the shares from all the companies. How would you split them? I will go 100% on Facebook. So maybe a little bit on Amazon, but that's a different thing. But it's just, for me, private. I never saw Facebook or Periscope as a live video on both platforms as a way to make money, to monetize those people. So for me, it's just, I love the audience there. It feels really like family, and that's why I stick with it. Although lately, I don't even have time to go live on Periscope a lot because time is so limited.
Right.
And so many clients popping in. So that's why I regret that a little bit. And I think, like, how can I make it up? But that's the main reason. But for everyone else, if you're not a Twitter star right now and you're thinking about starting off, probably Facebook Live is the best way to start.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I wrote this down. This is one of the things I wanted to ask you because, yeah, I mean, your audience. To me, I always tell clients and I always tell students, I say, you need to first research. Okay, first you need to build a community, which I love what you said, building that community, building that trust, which is just I mean, that's just, to me, like 101. That's common sense. You're not going to invite friends to a party, if you're not close to them or you don't know them, unless it's depending on what kind of party it is. You want to invite people who are part of your tribe, right? So to me, these live streams are sort of like inviting them into your home. This is your house, this is your time. This is valuable time. Again, I take it I love to have fun. I don't want to say I take it seriously, but yeah, I do. I mean, I want to connect. I don't want to just get on here and sort of just vomit on the camera. Like, here I am. I'm just going to press live. I'm all for encouraging people to go live, but also with intention. I think intention is really important. What is your purpose? I mean, what do you want to try to do? If it's just as simple as saying hello and engaging with the community, that's an awesome intention. It doesn't have to be profound. You don't have to start a cause or start a revolution, right? But I mean, having some sort of intention. But yeah, I wrote this down, Alex, because I was like, I haven't seen Alex do any, or many at least, or if any, Facebook Lives. Do you see yourself ever kind of transitioning, or where do you see? Because a lot of people are saying, and I don't agree with this, but a lot of people are saying Twitter is dead and Twitter is dying, and Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube are going to be taking over the game, especially Facebook and Instagram. Do you ever see yourself going, well, you know, I'm loyal to my fan base, I'm loyal to my audience, but at the same time, boy, you know, I need to think about a transition strategy. I need to think about doing, you know, creating my broadcasts on other platforms. Does that thought ever enter your mind, Alex? And do you have any plans to do that?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, for the reason, if I would see that my audience would shift to Facebook and I would get more views on Facebook Live than I would get on Periscope, and especially the people who are really close to me, which are, first of all, of course, my students, and second, the people who are long-term followers. If I would see like that, they come up to me and say like, well, listen, it would be much better for us if you would start and do more Facebook. That would be like the first reason to shift, to say, okay, I'm going all in on Facebook now. No, for the reason, as I said, I believe Periscope is the best technology. I believe it's better than Facebook Live. I believe the usability is better. People on Periscope understand Periscope. People on Facebook don't understand Facebook Live necessarily.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, that's interesting.
They don't know if it's live or not live. They just don't get it because Facebook does so many. People on Periscope understand it. So it's the better tool, and I like it a lot, as I said. Also with Periscope Producer and so on, I believe they did a great job. But of course, I can see that Periscope won't exist in a couple of months anymore because it will be only Twitter Live. Because they won't have two apps. For what reason? And I see the transition is coming slowly. Although Kayvon, the CEO of Periscope, says, no, Periscope will forever be there. I don't believe so. I believe it will. And I will be like the biggest advocate for not shutting it down, because that would mean I lose like 230,000 followers.
Wow. I mean, you build, I mean, you have a lot of, I mean, you've built that that following. You've built that, and I reserve the. I don't. Some people ask me, "Oh, you got all these." You know, I don't like to call it followers, but I mean, really, you've built that tribe. I mean, you built that community. My Facebook group.
Yeah.
I love what you said there, and it's so interesting to think of it that, you know, it's not just just digital, molecular, invisible presence, or this. You know, just
those are real people.
Those are real people. Yeah, those are real people. Yeah. I love the way you said that, Alex.
It's about the people.
It's about the people. I love what you said. So I have a couple of questions. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. I loving the interaction, loving the shares, loving the comments. Thank you, April. I hope you have a good. Yeah, go get some food. Thank you for joining. I have a couple of questions that I like to end my broadcasts on, Alex. Do you have anything further to add before I go into our final questioning and then wrap things up? You've been fantastic, by the way. Have you had fun on the show, Alex?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
Great.
It feels like, you know, we're hanging out and having fun, having a good conversation. I just love it.
And feel free, by the way, Alex, because I want to become better and better and better. I love criticism. I love, especially people like you. Feel free to say, hey, Professor Nez, you need to do this, or try this, or you're not doing this enough. Anything you have to offer, I am so open to it, especially you, my friend, because I truly, truly want this to be professional, but I also, if it excludes fun, count me out. It has to be fun. It has to be enjoyable. If I'm not enjoying it, you know, there's certain things you have to do for your business and for your presence and for what you're trying to achieve that are not fun. But this, I don't want to include in that category. This has always been, I love what Alex said, NEZNATION, by the way, when he said, this is something that I care about these people. These are people. I enjoy this. When I first got into live streaming, it was with my phone. I didn't have any lights. I didn't have any microphone. It was just, wow, I love connecting with people. I love doing this. You don't have to be an extrovert necessarily, just as long as you're enjoying doing it, because that kind of contagious, that enthusiasm is infectious. It's an infection. People love, when I see Alex go live, I'm infected by his enthusiasm. He's excited. He's excited to talk to people. And his format, his 60 seconds of shout outs and his entire thing, you could learn so much from an Alex Kahn broadcast. So, but you can sense the fun is oozing through all that, which I love. So anytime you want to offer me tips or advice, Alex, I'm so game. How have I been doing so far, by the way? Have I been doing okay?
I like it.
Okay, great.
I don't see the reactions of the people, but I'm sure I love it too. So I like it.
Yeah, it's not like Be Live or some of these, obviously like Periscope. You can. So I'm using a third party. I'm using Zoom. I'm monitoring everything on my monitors and other devices here. But yeah, I think Zoom needs to think about integrating something like that. And Zoom, if you're watching, I'm available, Professor Nez. Eduardo, Alex Kahn, our beloved coach from Masterclass. Welcome, Eduardo. Welcome, Tony. Of course, now everybody's coming in, right? When we're trying to wrap it up, as it always is. Good to see you, Tony. So, Alex, I like to ask a few questions of my guests that I've been trying to work with and tweak, and just questions that I think get a little bit deeper into who my guests are. And so if you're ready, I'd love to ask you just a few questions, and then we can.
I'm ready.
And then we can tell our Nez Nation audience where they can find you, and we'll wrap it up. First of all, before I do that, I've been so grateful to have you, my friend. You are awesome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for agreeing to this show. I mean, really, honestly.
Thank you.
This has been awesome. Hey, Tony, good to see you. So the first question is, Mr. Alex Kahn.
Yes.
What inspires you? What is your muse? What inspires Alex Kahn the most?
When people actually apply things I tell them, and they add me to the loop of how it changed their way of behaving, their way of doing business, and their success. I'm absolutely triggered by feedback. I just love it. It inspires me the most. If someone comes to me and says like, well, I couldn't do it. I felt like I can never do it. I applied it. It changed for me. And it can be easy things, it can be, I got 10 followers and now I have 100. Right? It doesn't need to be like that great things. I mean, I have some students who come up and say like, well, I made $3,000 after a weekend and so on, right? It doesn't need to be those kind of things. It can be really the things, I got 20 likes on the picture and now I have 25. It's so great. I just love it. I just did what you told me, and I got an immense feedback from that person. I really helped, because most of the people, it's funny. When you sign up for topscoper.com, I ask you, it's like a free course, and it's about live video. And after every email, I ask you a couple of things. And after the first email, I ask you, what is your goal and why you want to achieve it?
Yeah.
Right? And it's so interesting to me. I have hundreds of answers, of course, after a couple of months. And the number one answer is, I want to help people. It's crazy.
Right.
The why of the most people is, I want to help. I want to make a difference. Right. I want to find my true purpose. And other things are, the why is so pure, It's not almost, of course, there are a couple of people who do that, but it's almost never, I want to buy a new car, right? It's things like, I want to spend more time with my kids.
Yeah. Freedom.
I want to spend more time with my spouse, right?
Yep.
I want to provide for my family, right? Those are the goals. Those are the whys for the people. And that's so inspiring, because that makes me 100% an optimist, right? Because I believe so much in us, right? I believe so much in the good, and I'm I'm a total believer, and the people who follow me know that, in the law of reciprocity and the law of attraction, and that you attract people who are like you. And the better stuff you do and the more good people you surround yourself with, the better it gets. It just works in your favor, right?
Yeah.
And
Einstein said everything at the core of the core, subatomically, everything is energy. And whatever energy you put out, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
Tony says,
what inspires me the most.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great answer. That's a fantastic answer. Tony says, I've been following you both. Thank you both for being great human beings. You are inspirational. Tony, thank you so much.
Thanks,
April
Tony.
says, feedback is absolutely important when you're learning from someone else and then applying it to your daily life. I totally agree with you, Alex. Very well said. What a great answer to my first question, right? I wasn't expecting such a great answer I was expecting a great answer, but such an in-depth, yeah. Not that I wasn't expecting a great answer, but such an in-depth answer. Okay, thank you so much, Alex. Okay, my second question. What is your biggest concern in the social media environment? Your biggest concern right now, if you have any?
That the wrong people get heard. That
the wrong people
who fake it get heard and get a voice, and people try to adapt and try to impersonate their way of behavior. I'm no friend at all for that whole douchebag behavior.
Yeah.
My house and so on. How I made like 2 million in 10 days, and how you can make it too, right? I don't like that. Unfortunately, it works. It's not that it doesn't work. It's a short-term approach, but it works. And so those people can spend more money on ads, so they get more visibility. And that's not the right way of doing it, So that's my biggest concern, that although I believe in Facebook long term, I believe that those ads won't exist in a couple of months anymore, or a couple of years anymore, that they turn down all those quick money scheme kind of approach. So I believe it will figure out, like I said in the beginning, Facebook will do the job for you. You don't need to think about it too much, because they will see it. But that's my biggest concern, that the wrong people get heard. They just see the shallow surface and what they think it's the kind of fake it till you make it kind of approach. And that's my only and at the same time biggest concern.
Yeah, and I've been noticing a lot of that. I love what you said there, first of all. NEZNATION, my lovely, beautiful engagers here. No, I've said this a lot, Alex, and I've repeated this a lot. And what Warren Buffett sends out the same memo every single year to all of his employees, thousands of employees, and it's one sentence long. He says it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, and it takes seconds to lose it. So, is your word, is your honor, is your deep, deep core of the core value, is that coming through? I see a lot of this on Instagram mostly, which I love Instagram, because Instagram is really pushing video, especially with Instagram Live, even though I haven't used a lot of Insta Live. I see a lot of this, people taking a picture in front of a Lamborghini with coconuts, in the background. Hey, So it's interesting. But again, I think like we talked about earlier, right, Alex and everybody? You can, those people won't be around. Those people will always be found out. And the people like Alex, who are truly authentic and truly engaged from an honest epicenter, will always have that longevity, I think. I mean, that's just my opinion. And I think there's nothing more.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. It's the thing. I mean, two things about it. First of all, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not true.
Yep.
It's just not true. You have to rethink. It's just not true. There is no overnight success. All those things which promise you overnight, there is none. I can tell you 100%. I met so many people around the world. Not a single one had an overnight success.
Right.
Not a basketball player, not a business person, not a student, nobody. There is none. So everyone who's promising you all those things, I can tell you 100% without knowing their course, without knowing their class, it's just not happening. So stay away from those things and be practical, be realistic. about it. Do your research. I mean, right now you can Google everyone, right?
Yeah.
Just take those 5 minutes before you buy a class. Take those 5 minutes and do your research. Visit the social profiles. Google them and see. You can always do like, what's the word in English probably? Name scam artists, right?
Scam artists. Yeah, scam artists. That's exactly
thing,
right.
You can only do this and you will see it, right?
Yep.
And then the other way around, it works in the same way. It's about a long-term game. It's about a long-term game. And second, if you try to do something like that, you can be sure that the 3% of the people who really figured it out, they know about it. You will never lose that bad reputation. The 3% who really made it, who are really successful, who are the center of the industry, they know about all those people. They figure it out automatically, and they will never be with those people who are those scammers. And so you will never make it. You might make some money with it, but you will never be you increase a reputation, have a great reputation, and I believe you will never be happy by fooling people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tony says, tell me about it. And you have to work hard in order to achieve success. It's complicated, but you learn to deal with it. I mean, my live streams, if you look at my first 20, 30 live streams, I mean, you know, they were terrible. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm going to call it on a bit. What about Ty Lopez? His promises seem too good to be true. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to really judge anybody or bash anybody. But yeah, there is a lot of talk about people who are doing that kind of online presence. So I totally know what you're talking about, Veronica. You know, it takes time. It takes time to get even sort of good at it. And as you keep working, as Alex says, as you keep working hard, there's no such thing as an overnight success. It takes a lifetime to be an overnight success. I tell my writing students all the time. I mean, I've been writing for 30 years. I've been writing articles, books, short stories, poems, essays, research for 30 years. The first 15 years were shit. I mean, I'm just going to be completely honest. They were absolute garbage. It took me forever to even get even sort of good at writing. So if you care about something, if you really, really want to do something, you have to put in, you have to get, I think there's a lot of people graduating school right now, a lot of commencement speeches. I think if you don't understand that failure is inevitable, but it shouldn't stop you, you're in trouble. You need to understand that failure is actually a beautiful thing. It's not something to be afraid of. It's not something that means that you're not good at it. You just have to work at it. Okay, last question, Alex. Alex, awesome stuff. Great answers. Last question. What is the number one thing that you could say in your entire life, not just in digital marketing, not just in your businesses, but in your entire life? It can be anything. What is the one thing that has stuck with you through the years that you stand by that has helped you throughout your life? One thing. It could be something your grandmother said when you were 5. It could be anything. What is the one tool, device, anything that you've had in your entire life? What is the one thing that has stuck with you throughout the years that has helped you become who you are today? It can be anything.
There's really one thing, and that's something my dad told me when I was 6 years old, and it's a beautiful story. And he came to me and said, sit down, and he said, like, well, listen, when you came to this world, right, everyone was standing around you, everyone was smiling, and you were the one who was crying, right? As a baby, when you come out to that age, you were the one who was crying, right? Live your life that when you leave this earth again, everyone will be worrying and crying about you, but you will be the one who can smile.
Oh, wow.
And that really stuck with me. Like, I mean, I was just 6 years old and said, like, man, that's how it should be.
That's beautiful.
Instantly, that's how it should be, right? So you should do good things. You should do good stuff, like Joel always says.
Yeah.
Oh, I love what Gary says of legacy over currency. It all plays in the same way. And that's the one thing which stuck with me the most. And that's how I plan things. I ask myself, is this the right thing? Will this, what I do right now, if I think about big decisions, I come back to that 6-year-old boy and I think, like, will this make me a better person? Will this play in the favor of achieving just that or not? So that stuck with me and will stuck
Oh, I
with me
love
forever.
it. That was a beautiful, beautiful story. And isn't it funny, the common denominator, huh, Alex and Nez Nation, everybody watching? Isn't it funny how the common denominator you see in the most successful people, it's not about money, it's not about things, it's not about possessions. It's about how they make others feel, how they create a presence around them. They create an ethos, a reputation that is credible, honorable, dignified, and provides value. And that's truly, maybe even, if there is such a thing as one definition of success, maybe that could be it. Come into this world crying where everybody around you is smiling. When you leave this earth, everybody will be crying and you will be the one with the big smile. What a beautiful, beautiful story. Ladies and gentlemen, Nez Nation, on behalf of me, Professor Nez, your host, I just want to say this has been an absolute pleasure to have our guest, Mr. Alex Kahn. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for sharing. Please leave comments. By the way, if you're watching this on the replay, leave those comments down below because I will come back. I respond to everybody. I'm sure Alex will be, engaging as well. He's going to leave all his information in the comments below. Please don't forget, I come back. So if you have any other questions for our guest, if you have any other comments, thank you, Sean. If you have anything else you'd like to add, or please leave those comments and I will definitely come back and check them out. And I'm sure Alex will as well. Alex, is there anything else you wanted to add before we sign off here? You want to tell people really quickly, perhaps, where they can find you?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple when you spell my name right. It's Alex Kahn, so Khan, not Kahn, what most other people do.
You were the first search, by the way,
Kahn.
Alex. You were the first search. When I searched on Google, you came up first for Alex Kahn, so it was right there. There's a lot of Alex Kahns out there, but you were the first.
That's true. It's a very popular name, both.
Yeah.
Like last name when you think about India.
Yeah.
And the first name in all over the world, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, if you Google me, you'll find my website, you find everything. So just go on Google, Alex Kahn, Khan. It's one Alex Kahn on all social media places. And please realize there is no barrier, just think like I couldn't reach out to him and so on. People are always shocked when I reply back, but I just love it. I probably might take a while. Sometimes it goes instantly. It depends on what I do right now. But just reach out. It can be just a feedback. It can be a critic. It can be a compliment. It can be a question. Whatever you feel like, just reach out to me. I love to engage and I love to expand my network too. So feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, if you missed it, again, never met Alex in my life in person, even though I feel like this is just as good, if not in some ways a lot more convenient, at the very least. But I reached out wholeheartedly. I engaged with his content. I engaged with his stories. I engaged with his live streams. I was ballsy enough to send him a direct message, not thinking in a million years he would ever, respond. And what did he do? He stunned me again. Not only did he stun me before the broadcast, but he stunned me with not only a response, it wasn't a bot or anything like that, a personal response. Of course, I remember you, Peter. Of course, I would love to be on your show. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Genuine and honest. And I can see, Mr. Alex Kahn, I can see a lot of people crying when your time comes, and hope to God that you have the biggest smile, my friend. So on behalf of your host, Professor Nez, I want to thank Alex Kahn. I want to thank all of you. This is Nez Nation Live, and I can't tell you what a fantastic show we had. We will see you guys next time. So thankful. Again, please leave those comments. Go find Alex Kahn. You need to watch Alex Kahn. You need to check his stuff out. He is phenomenal. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, okay? Thank you. This is Nez Nation. We are out.